Like and subscribe right now for more shocking rescue stories, incredible moments of courage, and videos that will absolutely blow your mind. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our amazing content. A little girl was standing on the side of a highway, screaming and pointing at a truck that had just been in a terrible accident. "That's my daddy's truck," she screamed over and over to anyone who would listen. Firefighters and paramedics arrived at the scene. They were prepared for a routine accident response. But when they looked more carefully at what the little girl was pointing at, they all froze. What they saw would require the most dangerous rescue operation they'd ever attempted. And it would prove that a 6-year-old girl's love for her father was stronger than any obstacle. Marcus Williams was a truck driver who spent most of his time on the road. He had a 6-year-old daughter named Emma, who lived with her mother during the week, but spent weekends with Marcus. Marcus loved Emma more than anything in the world. Every Friday he'd pick her up from school. Every weekend they'd go on adventures together. He'd take her to parks, ice cream shops, movies, and on long drives in his truck. Emma loved her daddy's truck. It was a big 18-wheeler that Marcus used for his job, but on weekends he'd let Emma sit in the cab while he drove. He'd let her help steer. He held the actual wheel, but she thought she was helping. He'd sing songs with her. He'd tell her stories. On this particular Saturday, Marcus had picked up Emma from her mother's house. They were driving to the beach, a 3-hour drive that Emma was very excited about. She had her favorite stuffed animal with her. She was wearing her favorite beach outfit. She was happy and chatty. Marcus was driving carefully. The weather was good. Traffic was light. It was a perfect day for a drive. Then suddenly, something went wrong. A car in the lane next to Marcus swerved without signaling. The driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. The car crossed directly in front of Marcus's truck. Marcus had no time to react. The impact was massive. The car crumpled like paper. Marcus's truck jackknifed across multiple lanes and flipped onto its side. The truck slid across the highway, sparks flying, metal screaming. When it finally came to a stop, it was lying on its side in the median of the highway, completely destroyed. Inside the truck, Marcus was trapped in the crushed cab. He was bleeding. He was in severe pain. But his first thought was Emma. "Emma!" he screamed. "Emma, are you okay?" Emma was crying in the passenger seat. She was terrified but physically okay. She had minor cuts and bruises but nothing serious. "Daddy?" she screamed back. "Daddy, I'm scared!" "I know, baby," Marcus said, trying to sound calm despite being in agony. "I know, help is coming. We're going to be okay." A passing motorist called 911 immediately. Emergency responders arrived within 8 minutes. Firefighters, paramedics, and police. When they arrived at the scene, they saw the flipped truck in the median. They saw the completely crushed car. They could see people moving inside the truck, which meant victims were still alive. The firefighters immediately began assessment. Captain Sarah Martinez was leading the rescue operation. She was experienced and calm under pressure. The first priority was getting Emma out. The passenger door was on top now, facing the sky so it was accessible. Firefighters worked to carefully pry open the door without causing further injury. Emma climbed out with help from the firefighters. She was crying and shaking. She was taken to a paramedic for evaluation, but Emma kept pointing back at the truck. "My daddy! My daddy is still in there!" she screamed. "We know, sweetheart," a paramedic said gently. "We're going to get him out." "Don't worry." Now came the hard part. Marcus was trapped in the driver's side of the cab. The entire left side of the truck was crushed against the ground. The steering wheel had crushed his legs. Metal was bent around his body. "My daddy's legs are stuck," Emma screamed from where the paramedics were holding her. "You have to help him." Captain Martinez and her team began assessing the situation. They would need to cut the truck apart to free Marcus. They would need to use the jaws of life, hydraulic cutting equipment that could cut through metal. But as they worked, they discovered something even more serious. There was a gas leak. The truck's fuel tank was damaged. There was diesel fuel pouring out onto the hot engine. There was a serious risk of fire or explosion. "Everyone back," Captain Martinez ordered. "We need to be careful. This whole thing could go up in flames." The situation was critical. Marcus was trapped with minimal time. The truck could catch fire at any moment. They had to move fast but carefully. Captain Martinez made a decision. She was going to go in herself, with one paramedic, to try to stabilize Marcus while the cutting equipment was being positioned. "I'm going in," Martinez said firmly. "I need to assess the injuries and prepare him for extraction." She and paramedic James Rivera carefully climbed into the crushed cab. The space was tight. Metal was bent at dangerous angles. But they managed to reach Marcus. "Marcus, I'm Captain Martinez from the fire department," Sarah said calmly. "We're going to get you out of here. I need you to stay calm and work with us." Marcus was in severe pain, but he nodded. "My daughter," he gasped. "Is my daughter okay?" "Your daughter is fine," James said. "She's safe with our paramedics. We're getting you out to go to her." Outside, Emma watched from the paramedic's arms. "Daddy!" she screamed. "Daddy, hold on. They're helping you!" The firefighters worked with precision. They used the jaws of life to cut through the metal of the truck. They had to cut carefully to avoid hitting Marcus. They created an opening large enough for him to be extracted, but as they were cutting, the situation became more dangerous. Smoke started coming from the engine. The fuel leak was worse than they'd initially thought. "We need to accelerate," Captain Martinez said urgently. "This thing is about to catch fire." The team worked faster. They cut through the final piece of metal holding Marcus's legs. Then they carefully pulled him out of the crushed cab. As they were lifting Marcus out, flames suddenly erupted from the truck's engine. The fire spread quickly across the crushed vehicle. "Move! Move! Move!" Captain Martinez ordered. The team carrying Marcus ran from the truck just as it erupted in flames. Seconds later, the entire truck was engulfed in fire. If Marcus had still been inside, he would have been burned alive. Emma saw her father being carried out safely. She broke free from the paramedic and ran toward her dad. "Daddy! Daddy!" she screamed. "I'm here, baby!" Marcus called out, even through his pain. "I'm here. I'm okay." Emma reached him and grabbed his hand. That image, a 6-year-old girl holding her father's hand as firefighters rushed him to an ambulance, became the defining moment of the rescue. Marcus was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. He had broken legs, internal injuries, and severe lacerations. But he was alive. Emma was kept with her mother at the hospital. She refused to leave her father's side. She sat in the hospital room, holding his hand, talking to him, helping him recover. Over the course of 6 months, Marcus underwent multiple surgeries. He spent weeks in physical therapy. He slowly recovered. His legs healed. He regained mobility. He was eventually able to walk again. Throughout his recovery, Emma was his motivation. She'd visit every day after school. She'd tell him stories. She'd encourage him to do his physical therapy exercises. "Come on, Daddy," she'd say. "You can do it. We're going to go on adventures again." The story of Emma's courage, a 6-year-old recognizing her father's truck and fighting to save him, became national news. News outlets covered the rescue extensively. Little girl's love leads to father's dramatic rescue. Captain Martinez and her team were recognized as heroes. They gave interviews about the rescue operation and the importance of quick action in life or death situations. Emma became known as the brave little girl. Schools invited her to speak about courage. Children's organizations highlighted her story as an example of how love motivates heroic action, even in children. Marcus eventually returned to work as a truck driver. Though he took routes that allowed him to be home more often, he was more appreciative of time with Emma. He understood that his life had been saved not just by firefighters' skill, but by his daughter's love and recognition of his truck. Emma grew up understanding that courage comes in many forms. Sometimes it's big and dramatic, like firefighters performing rescues. Sometimes it's small and personal, like a 6-year-old girl refusing to give up on her father. Marcus and Emma's relationship deepened because of their shared trauma and rescue. They understood each other in a profound way. Emma knew her father would fight for her. Marcus knew his daughter loved him unconditionally. Years later, when Emma was in high school, she decided to become a paramedic like James Rivera, who had helped save her father's life. She wanted to help other families experience rescue and recovery like her family had. The profound lesson extends far beyond this one rescue. Love is the most powerful force we have. It motivates heroic action. It sustains us through trauma. It drives us to fight for those we care about. Emma didn't understand the mechanics of the rescue. She just knew her daddy was in danger and she had to help. That simple recognition and that pure love caught the attention of firefighters and paramedics who then risked their lives to save him. A 6-year-old girl and a team of trained professionals working together created a miracle. That's what happens when love meets skill and courage meets determination. This story reveals an important truth. Children's love and instinct can guide us toward action in critical moments. Emma's simple statement, "That's my daddy's truck," alerted everyone to a life in danger. Her refusal to give up on her father showed the power of a child's faith and love. Have you ever witnessed a child's courage? Have you ever seen love motivate heroic action? Have you ever experienced or witnessed an incredible rescue or survival story? Like this video and subscribe to our channel for more incredible rescue stories, moments of courage, and true stories that will inspire you. Hit that notification bell right now so you never miss our latest uploads. Comment below. Tell us about a time when you witnessed incredible courage, or when a child's innocence and love inspired heroic action. Or share about a rescue or survival story from your own life. Your story could inspire thousands of people to believe in the power of love and courage. Thanks for watching. Emma and Marcus's story reminds us that love transcends fear. Emma could have been paralyzed by terror, but instead she fought for her father. The firefighters could have given up when the situation became dangerous, but instead they risked their lives. When love and courage combine, miracles happen. If you're facing a difficult situation, remember Emma's courage. If you see someone in danger, be like the firefighters. Act quickly and decisively. See you in the next video where we'll share another incredible story about courage, love, and the power of human connection.